amount of a change. I'm seeing some. Can you see her eyes getting a little bit brighter? I can see them changing. It's just not dramatic. If I want dramatic, it'll be way too much, but I could come over here to exposure and bring it up. Then you'll see I'm isolating her eyes? If you were to do exposure, you would want to do it overly subtle. Around there. Let's see how much saturation I can get away with. Get her eyes to be more colorful and a little bit of clarity. Make them sparkle a little more. You want to see before and after? I'll turn off the little light switch thing so you can see without. See how just kind of dead her eyes look and after? I would want to mouse over that and make sure I didn't get a lot of overspray, because I bet you I have overspray, a lot of it on her eyelashes, because the center part of her eye where it's black is very similar in color and brightness to her eyelashes. So when I was using auto mask, it probably went out and got all the stuff that looked a similar brightness. So I could come in here and mouse over to see my overspray. And yeah, I see it going beyond the center into other areas. I could turn on the checkbox at the bottom to keep that overspray visible. And then I'll say I want to erase from this. And I'm not going to use auto mask. I just want to be able to paint freely. Get a small brush. And just say, hey, get it off of that. I don't need to brighten and make that more colorful out that way. Yeah, I might need to paint some in other areas, but turn off that checkbox so I no longer see the overlay. And I'll turn off the light switch thing to see without, with. Do you see your eyes suddenly jumping? Other things you can do, in this case I don't think Cassandra needs it, and that is teeth. If somebody drinks a lot of coffee, tea, or smokes, their teeth are often going to be darker than you'd like, and they might be a bit yellow. And so with teeth, you could bring up the highlight slider to make the bright areas brighter, and you could bring the saturation down a tiny amount. If you make teeth very unsaturated, they start looking gray, and so you have to be careful with that. Or the other thing you can do is you could introduce the opposite color with the color choice, or at the top, the temperature and tint. Push it away from yellow, let's say, if that's what the color of her teeth is. But if you do her teeth, just be overly careful, because if you get overspray onto her gums and you're desaturating or making it less yellow, her gums can start looking kind of grayish. So I'd use auto mask, and I would just make sure that I double check for overspray afterwards. Now, when I do this, oftentimes I do the same kind of adjustment quite frequently. So there is a choice to create presets. So if you know you're going to soften the skin all the time, why don't I mouse over here and click on the pin that's softening her skin so that the settings for it get shown over here. And at the top of all these sliders, there's a little pop-up menu. Right now it says custom, and that just means that the settings that I'm applying right now are not the same as any presets that are installed. They're custom settings. If I click on the word custom, I can come in here and say save the current settings as a new preset. And when I do that, call this smooth skin. Create. Then maybe I'll go to the pin that's for the eyes, click on it, so that the settings are loaded over here, and I'll go again to that same area right above all the sliders where it says custom, and I'll choose save current settings as new preset, and I'll just call this make eyes sparkle. Eyes sparkle. I'm a terrible speller, so create. So now when I come back, if I work on a lot of pictures of people, I no longer have to remember my special formula for what to put in skin to make it smooth and all that. All I need to do is click on that little pop-up menu that's just above all the sliders, and this is where I can switch between the various presets that I've created. Here I have one for teeth whitening, for instance. And that way, if you set up maybe 6 or 7 presets, you can go much faster when you're working on faces. Any general questions before I move on to another image?